Howdy folks. So today we're taking a ride in the Jeep around Salt Lake City because I got off work and I'm kind of bored. I need to run some errands, so I'm going to do that. But I figured I'd talk a little bit. And is it Men's Mental Health Awareness Month? I don't know. Everybody's saying it is, but then everybody's like, oh, but it's Pride Month. I'm like, okay, we can have two things. Actually, I'm driving by the whole Pride Festival right now in Salt Lake City, which you wouldn't think it, but Salt Lake City has a huge Pride Festival. So there's that. Cool, Pride, but also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. But everybody doesn't want to talk about that because, men suck. Men created all their problems. No, okay? That's the wrong way to think about this. What is this traffic doing? What's going on? Am I supposed to go left or right? About face? All right, Prius, I'll monster truck your ass. Okay, so what is happening? I did not mean to go into this traffic. All right, so men's mental health awareness. It's like a tongue twister, man. Guys, if you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. Therapy, talk to a friend, suicide hotline, I don't know. If you're having problems, find somebody to talk to. But I'm a big proponent of that, obviously. But also the thing is, I saw this thing online and it kind of helped me prompt this video, where it's just the entertainment industry really is driving this. But it's these like soy boy actors and musicians, freaking Harry Styles, that kind of guy. Oh, it's a parade. That is the gayest boat I've ever seen in my life. Pride Month. All right. So, and I say soy boy, and if you don't know what soy boy is, you can look it up. It's just kind of these feminized men. They're poor excuses for men, if you ask me, because they wouldn't be able to stand up to anything. They have no spine. They have given in to the freaking virus of feminism, modern feminism. Traditional feminism is okay. But yeah, these guys, they jumped. There was an article about how they were talking about it's okay to talk about mental health and your insecurities and your vulnerabilities and your mental illnesses and doing it all in public. And I'm like, no, it's fucking not. Okay. Now, awareness is good. Men should know that they should talk about things, but I don't think that you should talk about it really in public and out in public forums, because to me, and there's definite proof of this, I guess I got a U-turn, I don't get to go anywhere. There's proof that, doing so is detrimental to masculinity and your men's health in general. Because what is the first thing you hear when any man says, I opened up to my girlfriend once. I was vulnerable or sensitive, and I told her about mental illness that I had, or some trauma or something like that happened to me in the past. What does almost every man say happened after that? It was used against you. Or I got berated one time because I was telling a woman about the girl I dated with BPD. This was Conflict Girl, by the way. I have all these videos about a couple of different women I dated. But I was telling Conflict Girl about BPD Girl. And Conflict Girl berated me for it and said, you shouldn't, she wasn't crazy, blah, blah. I was like, I didn't say she was crazy. I was like, no, every guy says their ex is crazy. I was like, every woman says their ex is crazy. But that's the thing. I opened up and I'm like, hey, here, I was with somebody who was emotionally and verbally abusive to me a lot in the past. And it was used against me. From that point on, she told me I was damaged and that I had not gotten past it. And I'm like, you asked me to talk about this. And I talked about it. I'm past it. You wanted to know. And now you're using it against me. That's the thing. That's why stoicism has become so popular, is because when men open up, it gets used against them. So it's not men that need to open up. It's women that need to learn how to accept a man when he has insecurities and vulnerabilities. And you know what? I don't think that's ever going to happen. It's never going to. It has not happened throughout history. There are outliers. Of course there are times when men are dating a woman who actually knows how to accept that. And they can open up and that woman will be like, Yep. Okay, cool. You know, I know what triggers you might have now. I know what boundaries you have. I'll respect that. I haven't run into a woman like that yet. I really haven't. I have not. So the thing is, but okay, also if you do have triggers, mental illness or mental struggle, it's not on anybody else to cater to that. That's your thing that you should manage. Okay, that's a whole video I could do. But back to the original point was opening up to in public and talking about your feelings all the time. That's kind of just a feminine trait. It really is. And I don't mean that in like a derogatory way. It's kind of something that women just do. They act on feelings more than gut instinct or logic. And women hate hearing that, but it's true. That's how it's always been. If men acted on their feelings more than their gut instinct, nothing would ever get done. We wouldn't even have a society anymore. We wouldn't. There's like a thing, I just watched Orion, I can't remember his name, the Psych Hacks channel, was talking about the Survivor thing where they did the men versus women. And up front, the men were absolutely demolishing the women in terms of like setting up a hierarchy and getting things done and being productive. And eventually the women just like didn't like this. So they did something that was really smart, and they played into the men's hero complexes and their emotions, and they manipulated these men into turning against each other, and that's how the women won the season. Okay, but that means women were acting on their feelings, and also the men were acting on their feelings, and it all fell apart. So what's the moral, the story here? Obviously what I'm saying is men should not act on their feelings. You know, feelings have gotten me into some stupid freaking relationships in the past. And my logic was sitting there banging me in the head saying, hey, don't do this. You're stupid. This is going to get you in a dumb situation. And I did it anyway. So I'm just saying, men acting on their feelings instead of their gut instincts is bad. Men talking about their feelings in public, letting everybody know, that's not masculine, because it skewers. Skews. That's the word I was looking for. It skews perception of you as a masculine man. And I don't think full stoicism is the right answer. You know, never talking about anything. I just don't think that men need to be opening up that much to women, because it gets used against us too much. And that also got me thinking, because you see almost every woman, it's like, I want a vulnerable, sensitive man who will open up, emotionally available, blah, blah, blah. You know, in concept, that makes sense. We get it. Men do understand why you want this. And it's because you want male girlfriends. You don't want masculine men. You want men that think like women. And biologically, men just generally just don't do that. We don't think that way. Men don't think like women, and we shouldn't think like women, because men can do things women can't. Women can do things that men can't. We complement each other, and we've been harking that for ages and ages, and nobody wants to listen to that. But men shouldn't be acting like women. Men shouldn't be dressing like women. Well, I don't care. You want to cross-dress, you want to be trans, go ahead. Or trans, I don't know. The terminology. God, I can't speak today. It's because I'm hungry and thirsty. I don't know, man. Men are being feminized way too much, and they're being told that they need to think like women. And I went out to Park City. They had this street festivals like food and art and stuff like that last weekend, and I was walking around, and this is generally something I saw. God, I'm thirsty. This is generally something that I saw with the younger generation, like Gen Z. Younger Gen Z is the girls that were walking around with their boyfriends. God, Jesus. Generally, I'm not going to say generally, pretty much every single one of them was walking around with a dude that just looked like he would snap in half if the wind blew too hard. Now, I'm a slim person. I know I'm I'm not even as fit as I used to be. I used to have way more muscle. I'm about to change that. I've started working out again, finally, because I'm not on the road all the time. But I don't really just mean skinny. I just mean you could look at some guys and tell that, I'm not saying they need to fight, but you could look at some guys and tell that they wouldn't even be able to defend themselves, much less someone else, if something happened. And that's not a good thing. And this was every single one of them that was walking around, the younger Gen Z that was walking around with their girlfriends. And I'm like, these women wanted a woman. They didn't want a man. They went after these guys because they're soy boys. They don't know how to defend themselves. They don't think they need to. And this goes back to that old adage is hard men create soft times create soft men. And soft men create hard times create hard men. It's a cycle. It's not really Gen Z's fault. It's not. It's modern feminism and the fact that we really do live in an age where it's the world, not all of the world, but I'm going to say the United States, even with all the problems we have, the United States is at this point one of the safest times we've ever lived. I mean, society in general. Like, this is the safest time to live in the world as a human and as a woman, especially. This is the safest time that you've ever had on this earth. And it's because men ensured that that's how, or that's what came to be. You know what? I want KFC. That's what I'm going to get. I'm going down. I'm on State Street. I'm going to the original KFC. Yeah, the first one was in Utah. Don't argue with me. I'm right. Look it up. Google. All right. So, but yeah, feminism, modern feminism, has convinced this younger generation that they need to think like women in order to get women. And then also convinced the younger women that they need to want men that think like that. Now, they've been convinced that masculinity just means that a masculine man is going to be abusive or violent or not care about them. But it's kind of the opposite. A truly masculine man obviously cares about his family and his partner and treats them respectfully. But a masculine man is also fully prepared to do what needs to be done if he ever has to defend himself or his family or his partner. I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it, man. Pedro Pascal gets all this praise. I think he's an amazing actor. I like him. I think he's an excellent human being. But I kept asking, I was wondering, like, why do women like this guy so much? He's not like super handsome. He's not like Henry Cavill handsome. You know? He's not that traditional, like, and it's like Timothy Chalamet. Who's another one? Harry Styles. This dude, the one that not Sabrina. Well, yeah, I guess Sabrina Carpenter. That dude looks weird. What? Damn it! What's his name? Selena Gomez, her boyfriend or husband, whichever. Guy looks weird. The guy looks weird. Everybody's like, why does he look so weird? But if you hear him talk, he thinks like a woman. He really thinks like a woman. He doesn't think like a masculine man. He thinks like a woman. And that's what attracted Selena to him. And it goes back. Women want male girlfriends. Especially Pedro Pascal, because he's the most recent example I can think of. He was at a big hoopla in Hollywood, and he was wearing thigh-high boots. Hooker boots. They were like black leather, hooker, high-heel boots. And women were like, oh my God, he's amazing. He's so masculine. He's so hot. I'm like, that's not masculinity. I don't care what you say. It's not. Don't let these feminists convince you that that's what masculinity is. Now, I don't care if somebody wants to wear high heels. He can wear hooker boots all day. He's still a great person. Still a great actor. He still has my respect as a person. But that's not masculine, man. It's not. It just is not. That is literally clothes designed for women to wear. You can yell about patriarchy, blah, blah, all you want. But they were designed for women. I don't know if women designed it or not. They're for women. And also he went out to the Met Gala or something. Or the Fantastic Four premiere. I don't know. Now, you know, Pedro Pascal's not a big guy. He's fit. But he's not like he's not big. So he had his sleeveless shirt. and women were like losing their minds over Pedro Pascal's biceps. And I'm like, if you see this picture, you're like, are the biceps in the room with us? Where are they? Yes, he's got biceps. Every man's got biceps, and he's fit. They're toned, but they're not big, giant biceps like these women were trying to say. They're like, oh my God, he's so hot. And I'm just like, this is what women are attracted to now. They're attracted to feminine men. They're not attracted to men who can defend themselves and get themselves into a fight and finish the fight. Now, I'm a slim guy. I know I'm not super fit anymore. Like I said, I'm working on that. That is my fault. That's not a good thing. But the thing is, I still fight. I'm still strong enough to defend myself if needed. And I mean, honestly, always on me. Always on me. Something. This is my summer gun. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm at KFC. I think I'm gonna go in to get food. So what do y'all think? Like, do y'all think that men are being feminized way too much? I think it's certainly. But I notice that the younger generation is definitely way more attracted to these men that think like women. They're starting to look like women. And I'm not talking about the trans movement or anything like that. I'm talking about men who call themselves men, but they walk around in hooker boots and they look like they wouldn't win a fight against a fly. That's just, they're feminized, man. And women want male girlfriends. They want men that think like they do. They want men that will listen to Sabrina Carpenter with them and Taylor Swift. Like, I'll see dating apps and they're like, tell me what your favorite Taylor Swift song is. Like, lady, I don't listen to Taylor Swift. That music is not made for me. It's made for women, literally made for women. All she talks about is her love life and men and this and that. And I'm like, I don't care. I can't name a single Taylor Swift song. I don't give a shit. And here's the thing about that. I saw, God, who was it? I don't mean this in a bad way because I love this dude. So Chris Van Vliet, he interviews a lot of like wrestlers because he's in the wrestling community, pro wrestlers. So he had Hornswoggle, who is a little person, mini wrestler, whatever you want to call it, midget. Midget wrestling is a thing. They do it here. But he was famous for being in WWE. He was like one of the only little people to ever actually get a real WWE contract, and he got super popular. He's an awesome guy, and he's funny as hell. So he was doing an interview and he was talking about how like Taylor Swift was one of his favorite artists, and he was like, he'd been to like a bunch of Taylor Swift concerts, and I'm just like, you're allowed to like whatever you like, but I think I don't have a problem with him liking Taylor Swift. I don't have a problem with any guy liking Taylor Swift. You can like what you like. I respect Taylor Swift for what she does. I think she's kind of a smart person, but tangent. The thing is, women are seeing things like this and they're like, oh, men should love Taylor Swift. They should sing along with Sabrina Carpenter or whoever else in the car with me. I'm not singing along to that with you. I don't know those songs. I'm never going to know those songs. And I'm not doing it because of toxic masculinity. It's just, I don't like that music. And if I did like that kind of music, I'm still not going to like Taylor Swift talking about how men have been bad to her. That's not my thing. I will listen to Billie Eilish. I don't give a fuck. I listen to Billie Eilish. I listen to Halsey, Bishop Briggs, Fleetwood Mac all day. I still listen to female artists, women, but it's different music. It's better music in my opinion. So I do have a vast array of music, but it's not because I'm choosing not to listen to Taylor Swift because I'm a toxic man and I want to listen to feminist music. Actually, yeah, I don't want to listen to feminist music. That's what it is. All right, that's it. Time to go to KFC. And I talked about men being feminized too much. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. If you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. Hell, I don't know how you can message me. Maybe you can find me on Instagram. If you need to talk to somebody and nobody will talk, I'll talk. I don't know. Hey, I'm in a Jeep, right? And I don't really do the duck thing. I have a box of ducks to put on other Jeeps. There's actually a Jeep out here that I might put a duck on. I'm a dat guy, but I don't have them all over my dash. The only duck I have is a Doomslayer duck from... Don't you see? It's the Doomslayer from Doom. Video game reference. I also have Umbrella Corporation badges where the trail rated badges would go. All right, we're done. Y'all have a good one. Oh, and I forgot to add while I was jabber-jawing, kind of the point I was sort of trying to make throughout all that was the whole feminization of men thing. I see that as such a big problem because men are hardwired to just be masculine. And I'm not talking, don't bring up any toxic masculinity. Positive masculinity is way more prevalent than toxic masculinity, if you ask me. And men are naturally that kind of person, naturally masculine. But when society, especially modern feminism and even other guys, other soy boys, they start to try to convince men that they should lean away from masculinity and more into femininity in order to get women or to be accepted by women or to be a good person. You have to be this not so masculine kind of person. And when you start to tell men that they can't be men, they have to be more like women. They can't be men. You got to be more like women. You can't be who you naturally are. Which is ironic because this is the side that constantly tells everybody, you know, you're supposed to be who you are. That's what the trans movement's about, right? So why are you telling men that they can't be men? When you start to do that, you start to try to convince men to be more feminine and not so masculine, then men's mental health declines. We have an insane male loneliness epidemic in this country and Western society in general. And if these feminists get online, they spew all this misandrous trash about it, and they don't care at all. You're not going to change that. They're terrible people. And 500,000 men, like, what was it? It was something like 500,000 per day. I don't know. I don't think that's what it was. 500,000 is a number about a men that take their lives. And I don't know if it's like per day or per month, but it is baffling how big a number it is when you actually look it up. And this is part of it. The feminization of men is destroying men's mental health. That's part of what's contributing to this. So I don't think we can stop it. We're on a train. We're on the train now. It's going. It's rolling. How do we stop it? I don't know. Just don't play into it. You know, don't play into it. And don't play into this incel culture either. Because we need to have conversations with women and get them on our side again. Because they've let social media and feminism poison their minds into thinking that masculine men are bad men. And it's actually the opposite. Masculine men are good men. And a good man is masculine. Period. You'll never convince me otherwise. And we need to have conversations with women in general and just try to convince them of that again. How do we do that? I don't know. Maybe that's a video I can make. It's going to be a hard road if it even is a road we can travel on. All right, I'm done. I got to eat my KFC and drink my Mountain Dew. And then I'm going to go buy some ammo. I buy a little bit of ammo every week because I either go to the range or I just stock by it. Crazy prepper life. Ah!